Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Island. And guys, how about week one? Wow!
Awesome. Great week.
That was some incredible stuff. Finished off with the Raider game last night. Just craziness. We got the Fantasy Rolls Royce.
Hello.
We got Tony Sir Poopsalot.
Yo.
And we brought in the fantasy champion, Keith the fantasy antagonist, who had an incredible week one in our league. Let me tell you what this guy's got on his team. He had the number one quarterback in Dak. He has the number two running back this week in Christian McCaffrey. And he had the number two wide receiver in Amari Cooper, and he whooped all our asses. Keith,
golf clap.
How's your coffee tasting tonight, bro?
Hey man, it was nice to see what I could do with the number one pick, and what can I say? The draft just kind of came to me, and you guys suck. So what can I do?
Cheat.
I'm coming for you, man. I made a trade, and we're going to talk about that a little later on the show. But I'm coming for you. It's not over, man. You just had one good week. It's early, bro. It's early, right, Tony?
Very early. I'm so glad it's early, actually. I'm scared.
All right, we got so much to talk about tonight. So you guys ready to get it going?
Yep.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Here we go.
News and notes around the NFL.
First segment, as always, news and notes around the NFL. Let's get right to the stories. First one is Ryan Fitzpatrick, likely out 6 to 8 weeks with a hip injury. And this is kind of a sad story for Terry McLaurin, I think. I think it lowers his value. Keith, I want to start with you. How do you feel about Terry McLaurin after you hear this news?
It sucks. I was really hoping for big things for Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. I think that offense was going to just take off, but with the news, I'm kind of weary now. I'm not sure if the offense is going to click as much as I was hoping it for. I think we're going to see a bunch of dump downs. I think Antonio Gibson's actually really, really more valuable now. So it should be interesting, but kind of sucks for McLaurin.
Yeah, I agree. It does suck for McLaurin. I mean, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's, I think, a top 10 receiver. Without him, he slips quite a bit. I want to talk a little more about Antonio Gibson with Royce. You have some shares of Gibson. How are you feeling? Are you feeling like this helps or hurts his cause?
It's the same to me. I mean, he had a decent game. He didn't get in the end zone last week. He had a lot of touches. I think, Chuck, 20, is that what he said?
25.
Yeah, and his backup, JD,
one catch.
So volume's there with or without Fitzpatrick. Just, I can hand him the ball. Just give him the ball. Let him go.
Give him the rock.
Right.
All right, I'm going to start with you, Tony, on the next story, which is coming up here. Raheem Mostert is mostly hurt, and he chipped cartilage in his knee, and he was supposed to be out for about half the season, but we just got word.
Right.
He tweeted that he's going to be out the whole year. He's having surgery. I had the same injury, and I'm still dealing with it 2 years later, so I understand why he's taking the rest of the season off. It's going to be brutal. How do you feel about Raheem Mostert and the rest of the 49er backfield, Tony?
Well, for personal reasons, I don't have any shares of that guy this season. So when it comes down to my fantasy season, personally, I'm not too concerned. As for the fans, for the team, for the city, for him, yeah, it sucks. There is some depth there. We see it every season. One of those guys go down, or they go down for a few weeks. There's 2, 3, 4 guys. Aren't they picking somebody else up right now? Like they have some depth, and I think that they will eventually be okay. I don't know what's going on with the Trey Sermon thing. We'll talk about that later, obviously. But those guys are talented, and I think they'll survive.
Yeah, so Kyle shenanigans are playing out again, and he went out and picked up Kerryon Johnson. So who the hell knows how this backfield is going to shake out, but I don't want any part of it. All right, on to the next story. Jerry Jeudy of the Broncos likely out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
It's too bad because I love this kid. But let me ask you, Keith, is this the type of injury that makes you want to shy away even when he does return?
Yeah, from what I understand, is it's not just something that's going to affect him for the 6 weeks. It's something that he's going to have a hard time coming back from, and it may be maybe 10, 12 weeks before you see him back on the field and playing like he was. So it's kind of hard to keep a guy on the roster like that unless you got good IR spots. Although I really like Sutton now. I mean, who else is going to get the ball? You got Hamler and I forget the other guys there.
Patrick.
In there, but Patrick, yeah, Tim Patrick. But should be interesting. I think that Sutton's value just kind of takes off.
I agree with that. All right, and then there was 2 significant healthy scratches this week, which blew my mind. First was the 49ers. They decided to healthy scratch Trey Sermon, which was a head scratcher. And then the Bills did it with Zach Moss. So I'm going to start with you, Royce. We'll go to Buffalo. Does it matter that Zach Moss was scratched? I mean, it doesn't help Devin Singletary's value at all, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, if you told me Zach Moss even played, I went, okay, how do you do? I didn't even know he was scratched until after the game. I mean, no one has him that I know of. It's not a big deal. I don't know what he did, or nothing to worry about.
And the Bills are just going to throw the ball 50
They're
times
just going to
anyways.
throw the ball 50 times. So again, that's a team you stay away from the running backs. You grab all the receivers, basically.
Tony, try to make sense out of why Trey Sermon was a healthy scratch. Do you have any idea?
You know what? I don't really know. I've read a few different things. It sounds to me that there might be sort of an attitude issue. I think something went around that team this past week, and I think the coach got something up his butt and pointed at a few guys and said, "No, you're going to learn a lesson."
Yeah,
I don't really know if that's the truth, but it feels that way.
We're going to talk about some of those shenanigans in a little while because it's an interesting scenario in San Francisco.
Fantasy Heroes and Zeros.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. Today we have the Fantasy Heroes and Fantasy Zeros for Week 1. These are the guys that came through on our teams for us. We're going to give you 2 heroes each, and then we're going to talk about 2 guys that completely shat the bed, let us down, came up small. And so we're going to start with you, Royce. I want to get your first fantasy hero. Who do you got?
I talk about this guy every single year, every single draft. And you guys know who I'm going to say. It's Russell Wilson. 18 for 23, had 4 touchdowns, even ran for 9 yards. The he's bulletproof. He's solid. He doesn't make mistakes. He stays on the field. Only problem was I wish he would have got one more to Metcalf instead of to Lockett. But he did throw to my tight end, Everett.
Good call.
He's spreading the love. He's a gamer, man. It's just he's a plug-in every single week.
I think you have a thing for him like I do with Big Ben.
I do.
Yeah, I thought so.
Russell. Yeah.
I thought so.
His wife's okay, but I think he's better looking. Yeah.
All right, Tony, who was your fantasy hero?
Well, I predicted this guy to go off last week. I mean, really go off. And he still did. He didn't really get all the touchdowns I was expecting, but I'm going to go with Joe Mixon. I thought he had a hell of a game. I think that he really catapulted the offense, though Burrow stuck to his guns, did what he needed to do to win. But all in all, when Mixon needed to get that first down or that extra yardage, he did it. And I think he was a hero in Cincinnati, well, for Cincinnati. And he was a hero for me. So that's who I'm going with, Joe Mixon.
All right, I got a feeling I know who Keith's going to talk about here, but let's hear who's one of your 3 fantasy heroes.
I gotta say, Amari Cooper, man. What can you say about the guy? He's just a stud, and I got him in the 7th round in this league, and I was kind of shocked that he fell to that round. But to have a guy that goes off that well and get him that late, it's definitely nice. The other thing I did see was I like the fact that he's such a good route runner that the toe taps that he was doing in the end zone, the way he gets open, it just makes it so easy looking. And yet they were taking Lamb at 2nd round. So hey, I'll gladly take Cooper.
Tony, this is bullshit.
I know. You know how much we love Lamb. Hey, but Lamb got his shares. I think it kind of feels like that situation in Seattle. They're going to mix it up. I think both guys are going to get their ball. So.
Well, that was my fantasy hero. Even though he came in second on the Cowboys, he was number one in my heart. And that's the Cookie Monster, CeeDee Lamb. They're throwing him the ball, throwing him them cookies, and he's gobbling them up. He's going to be doing this all year. I think Amari Cooper is going to fade at some point like he does every year. And so that's why I like still CeeDee Lamb. But he was my fantasy hero this week. I got him in the third round, and I'm super happy with my choice there. But, so that just leaves one guy that's throwing him the ball who had a pretty good week. Is that your other fantasy hero? Is it Dak? Going back to you, Keith.
No, I can't say Dak. I mean, Dak did what I thought he was going to do. So it really wasn't that unexpected. I was kind of surprised that he did that against Tampa Bay. I thought the Tampa Bay's defense was going to be a lot better. And maybe it still will be. But I have to go on the other side. Antonio Brown is my next guy.
Nice.
You have Mike Williams and Godwin there, and yet Antonio Brown just keeps on doing his business. He looked like the old Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's got that attitude back, that little swagger, and I can't wait to see what he does the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was fun seeing Antonio Brown be like old Antonio Brown. He is the fantasy god. He's the best receiver in football when he's right. All right, Tony, give me your second fantasy stud hero, whatever you want to call him. Who's your guy?
I'm going with Jameis Winston. Nice. I was really impressed with him. Really happy for him personally. I always go to the team first. Happy for him and happy for the city and the fans. It was fantastic to see him calm, collected. He got done when he needed to get done, but he didn't have as much of the happy feet. He didn't throw off. You didn't see a bunch of interceptions. I know it's one game, but all in all, he looked like a mature franchise quarterback, and that's pretty exciting. So he was a hero for me for sure.
Nice. I like that pick. It was fun to watch Cincinnati come through too. I know I was happy for you, Poop, because you're a big time fan of the Bengals. So good for you.
I appreciate that.
All right, Royce, who was your second fantasy hero?
I talked about this guy a little bit early in preseason, and actually, you guys, I like that preseason games do matter. Watch, see who, especially young quarterbacks, who they're throwing to, and that's Corey Davis. I got him super late in my leagues. No one really was going to take a flyer on him. And plus, you think the Jets. But listen, the Jets got to play like every other team on Sunday. They're usually going to be behind. They're going to throw the ball. And the new guy, Zach's got a good relationship with Corey. He had 5 touches. He had 7 targets for almost 100 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. So that was a nice surprise. So, and he's going to be the number 1 guy there, I think, going this year. So I was happy with that pick.
All right. My second fantasy hero was Debo. Wow. And I played him. I had this hunch. I had Debo. I had Marquez Callaway and a couple other decisions. And I said, you know what? I got a feeling Debo's going to go off. Did Debo ever go off? Debo! 9 catches, 189 yards, and a touchdown. So he's my fantasy hero for this week. However, I'm not going back to that well next week. I think I'm going to bench him because I don't think he'll do that again. But it was nice to see, and I finally made the right call. You know how you have these painful lineup decisions, you always seem to make the wrong call. That's me. But I made the right call, so I was super excited. All right, so we talked about our heroes. Now let's talk about the zeros. These fools let us down. They came up small. Let's go back to you, Royce. I want to hear your first fantasy zero.
Oh, last night, Mark Andrews, disappointing. He's a fifth tight end off the draft. He had 3 catches for 20 yards. Ouch! As many times as Lamar was throwing the ball, I think he threw it 50 times last night. That volume's there. He's just not getting in there. He's not getting any love. He is a little tight end, or he's a little touchdown oriented. I get it. And if Lamar can hold on to the ball, it also helps too.
Yeah, that would help.
That was a tough one to swallow there. So,
all right, Tony.
Where do I begin, man? I literally have a list. Like, I was brokenhearted. I canned it in most of my leagues because of a few guys, but I got to start with the obvious, and that's the Titans overall. Ryan Tannehill. I mean, I pulled other quarterbacks to throw him in. I'm like, no, he's going to go off. I understand maybe the Cardinals' defense is a little stronger than we expected. I guess we'll see. But come on, dude. What a zero. Broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. Thank goodness it's the first week, man. We'll see what happens with those guys.
As Johnny Ballgame would say, it's early. Let's not forget, it's early. All right, Keith. I don't think anyone came up small for Keith, but I'm going to ask anyways. Who's your fantasy zero?
Well, I'm going to take probably what's on your list is the whole Green Bay Packers. Honestly, anyone you started on there, Adams, Jones, or Rodgers, they just pooped the bed. I don't know what the hell happened there. I hope it's not something we're going to see again, because I've got a few of those guys on my other teams, and it would really suck to see them just take the whole season. I heard some random rumor that Rodgers was just going to tank this season to get back at the Green Bay Packers. I don't see how that happens. That would destroy his legacy. And
Yeah,
I can't see him doing that on purpose, but he may be checked out. Like you said earlier, Chuck, I think he may be something. He's just like, you know what? I just don't care anymore.
Look, you nailed it. My guy, my zero was Aaron Rodgers. I have him in our big pay league, and I've never seen a guy check out in the fourth quarter and quit on his team like that. Like, it really disappointed me, and it spooked me. It made me think, like you said, he's checked out mentally. And so what I did is I said, I'm getting this guy off my roster. And I took Austin Eckler and Aaron Rodgers, and I added Taysom Williams, and I shipped them off and got me my favorite quarterback, Josh Allen and James Robinson. I'm good to go. I'm coming for you, Keith. But having said that, so he was, yes, a zero for me. But let me go to another guy. Let me pivot. Ezekiel Elliott came up small. And we all knew it was going to be tough sledding against the Tampa Bay defense. But I don't know if you guys noticed, Zeke Elliott was in about a 50-50 split for most of that game. The running back, what's his name? The backup running back?
Pollard.
Pollard. He was coming in there and getting most of the passing downs and catching a bunch of balls, and that spooked me a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about Zeke Elliott. Even though he's in shape and all that stuff, Pollard was in there a little bit too much for my liking. Anyway, he was my zero. All right, let's go on to our second zeros. Royce, who's your second?
I got a 2A/2B because it's the same friggin' team. James Robinson. Ooh, ouch. It looks like the Jags are going to be playing from behind a lot. He got five carries for 25 yards, and he caught 3 balls for 29. And he's the bell cow. We all thought, him coming in after ATM was hurt. We're thinking, 100 yards a game, right? Oh, Jags are bad. And just to go off that, I streamed Jacksonville defense in a lot of my leagues.
Yeah, you did.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Give Houston credit, man. Everything they're going through, there's veterans on that team. And they said, you know what? Let's just play. So much hype with the Jags, with Lawrence and, the wide receivers and James Robinson. And they just laid an egg, man.
James Robinson didn't even start. He came off the bench behind Hyde.
Yeah, that's terrible right there. Exactly.
You know what? He's taking a lot. Urban Meyer's taking a lot of flack from the media for that. Like, you had this guy that was a stud last year, and you're going to play Carlos Hyde more snaps. Yeah. It's going to change. That's why I kind of like my trade. I think I'm buying low on James Robinson.
Right.
I think they're going to start. And you saw Trevor Lawrence had 3 picks.
Right.
They're going to need to settle down and run the ball a little bit. And they'll be all right.
So, we'll see. Okay.
That's my feeling. All right, Tony, who's your next zero?
Well, just real quick to touch base on, I'm more worried about the coaching situation.
I am too.
He looked really douchey on the sideline. He did. He didn't even. There was a couple times he's like, I felt like he's like looking up in the stands. The camera would get him, like he wasn't even paying attention to the ball game. I mean, you got your rookie quarterback throwing 3 picks. That's going to happen. Okay, can't happen all the time. But I just didn't. I just don't trust that the coach right now. It's very bizarre. maybe he was just, a little scared. Anyway, getting back to the zeros, like I said, I have such a list. I'm going to go with Gesicki, however you say his name in Miami. That was like perplexing almost to not even be getting looks. He could have. They won. They squeaked it out, but they could have used him. So I'm very confused on that. I started in a couple leagues. I'm not saying that he's necessarily going to be a top 5, but wow, I don't know. 0, another heartbreaker.
Can we get a catch? Just one catch.
I know, it's
just one.
Weird. Like, why aren't he? There were several parts of the game. Like, is he looking at him? Are they who's calling the plays? Does he have nothing to do with this game?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it was a Belichick thing. I think, it's the old Belichick thing. Just take away. Belichick likes to take away their number one guy, and I really think that Gesicki is their number one guy in Miami. And so I think he just gamed that well and said, you know what, I'm not going to let Gesicki beat us. Let's let somebody else try and beat us.
Good point. Sure. Good point. All right, Keith, who's your second 0?
Man, I took this guy high in a lot of my drafts because I really had high hopes on Calvin Ridley. I don't know what happened to that team. I really think that they had a good matchup. I thought that it was just going to be money in the bank. And to see, I think he had like 4 catches in the first half for like 45 yards or something, and then
looking good.
1 catch the rest of the game. It was mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 3 catches on the first drive. We were all watching together, and we were like, oh, my God, he's going to go off. And that was it. That's Matt Ryan for you, though, man. The other guy on the other side, Russell Gage, had 0.
Yeah,
nothing.
And the tight end, all the hype, the rookie tight end, Kyle Pitts, he only had like 3 catches. So it was just an awful game all the way around for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. All right. I have one more 0. I'm going to make it real quick. I was really disappointed in Marquez Callaway's performance. It didn't look like he was the wide receiver 1. I thought he was going to be on the Saints. He had 1 catch for 14 yards, and then he disappeared. So a little disappointed in him. Well, I'm going to give him time. It's a new offense, new quarterback, new everything. So I'm going to give him a little bit more time, but then I'm going to cut his ass. What do you think, Tony?
Can we throw Najee in there?
Absolutely, but we're going to get to Najee here in the next segment. But yeah, Najee came up small too. You're right.
I still got 3 pages. Can I go through them real quick?
Okay. Just rattle off 2 or 3 more names. You had Najee. I'm sure the Packers running back was on there, right?
Yep.
Jones.
Even I know AJ Brown and DK, they did okay, but for them, it was just okay.
Yeah.
Like I was disappointed in those guys.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Boy Claypool. Where'd Claypool go?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Steelers.
Claypool.
Yeah.
I told you guys, don't play Claypool.
You did. Smart ass.
I did.
It's early.
The panic button.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the panic button, new segment. We're just going to go over a few of these guys that struggled, and we're going to ask, is it time to hit that panic button? Are you going to panic? Are you going to look to trade them? Are you going to look to drop these guys? Tell me what you're feeling on these guys. Let's start with the first one, and let's go to Green Bay right off the bat. Aaron Rodgers finished 15 of 28, 133 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 picks. And he freaking quit on his team and exited the game in the 4th quarter. All right, I'm going to start with you, Keith. Is it panic time in Green Bay?
If you go back and look at the history of Aaron Rodgers, he's due for one of these almost every year. So I'm not really ready to panic just yet. Plus, he's got the Monday night game this week, and I'm looking for a big comeback. I think he puts up 4 or 5 touchdowns on Monday night.
He's got the Lions.
He's really going to upset Chuck on Monday night when he just throws bombs.
We're trading him?
So,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Chuck's face on Monday night and watch him realize that he made a bad trade.
I love it. We'll see. All right, Ryan Tannehill. This one's going to you, Tony, because you're down on the Titans. Is it time to hit the panic button?
Okay. Really, I don't think there's any urgency right now to be hitting panic buttons, but there's obviously questions. I'm gonna dig deep here in Tannehill. I know he's in a system in Tennessee that works, and I always go back to the maturity thing. It worked for him. He got with the right coaches, right system, whatever, and he's put together a couple stellar seasons. But look at the guy before. Nobody wanted him. He wasn't good down south, So for some reason, I had this little pit in my stomach. I'm like questioning, like, oh shit, is he going to get something in his head now and not, return to form? Mm-hmm. That's my panic. That's my paranoia. I'm being ridiculous. The guy is a veteran now. He's got tons of weapons around him. He should be fine. So not quite panic yet. Between him and Rodgers, though, there is a little bit of a sick feeling.
Yeah.
That's how bad their games were. That's how bad they were. Rodgers, yes, you guys are right. He has some bad games. And I know you didn't ask about Rodgers. But to quit in the fourth, very perplexing. And I'm also concerned what the other guys thought.
Yes.
What did the other team say? Even Devontae Adams, is he going, you son of a – what? You're sitting on the bench? Was it amicable? Everybody's like, hey, man, I'm not doing well. I'm going to sit. And everybody's like, okay, Aaron. We'll see.
I want to know if it was the coach saying, let's just pull him out, keep him healthy. Or was it Aaron Rodgers saying, you know what, this sucks. I want out of the game. I want to know. We'll never know that, to be honest. We'll never know that for sure.
Maybe at the end of the season we will.
But man, when I was looking around, I was thinking the same thing as you. Like, what do these players think of this asshole? Like,
right.
He had a horrible game and he bitches out like that, and just like, I don't know. I've never seen that from a stud quarterback before. It was very, very discouraging.
Yep.
All right, Royce, I'm back on the Titans. Tell me, is it time to hit the panic button on Derrick Henry?
No. I was talking to you earlier, he doesn't run for 150 yards until like his last 6 games of the season. He's just warming up. He's got Seattle this weekend. Hand him the ball. They're going to be fine. Just give him the ball. It's okay. I'm not worried. Problem is you can't get down 17-0 there, poop, and and Henry ain't going to get any touches. So establish the run, opens up the passing, get a lead, get him the rock, win ugly. 17-14.
It's all about game script for him. As long as they're close in the game, he's going to do his thing. When they get behind, that's the problem area, and they got way behind.
Right, and he doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield. So
right,
so
that's not time to panic. It's not time to panic. I have Ezekiel Elliott, who finished again with 11 carries for 33 yards. He only had 2 catches for 6. He had no touchdowns, and Pollard was just sprinkled in the game. Is it time to hit the panic button, though? No, it's not time to hit the panic button. I drafted him in one league 4th overall, so I'm a little panicky on it, but I'm not going to hit the panic button and trade him. He played the Bucs. The Bucs have the best defensive line in football against the run. Let me see what he does this week. And I want to know who they're playing this week, Royce. You usually know these things. Who are the Cowboys playing this week?
Cowboys are playing your Los Angeles Chargers. Dun, dun. I don't know.
I want to see what they do because the Chargers actually have a sneaky good defense against the run. So it's a good test. I want to see if they use him more in the running game and the passing game, and maybe have Pollard have a little step back in his usage. Then I'll make my decision. But it's definitely not time to panic yet. All right, Tony, I'm gonna let you take this one because you brought him up earlier. Najee Harris. Is it time to panic?
No, I don't think so at all. I think because the entire team was down and they found a way to win. And that was incredibly uplifting for these guys. That was just a struggle, defense against defense. Both defenses looked incredibly solid. I was very impressed with Buffalo, actually. They'll be fine. And Najee, come on, he's a rookie. Maybe we overhyped him a smidgen.
Yes, we did.
I'm hoping I didn't, but I think we did a little bit. I think we did, unfortunately. But I think let's give him till week 4, and he's going to start teeing off.
He had 16 carries for 45 yards. Pretty bad, but again, tough defense. So we'll see. They have an easier matchup coming up this week, so we'll see how he responds.
I think it exposed the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. The offensive line is just
offensive line
crap. And unless they set it up by passing first, he's not going to have a lane. And So I'm a little worried about Najee. I think he was drafted too high to begin with in most leagues. I had a CEH kind of scarcity around him. CEH was being drafted really, really high last year, and people were just disappointed. And I was thinking the same thing was going to happen to Najee, so I'm not that surprised by it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Tony, when we were doing drafts earlier, we were able to get Najee Harris coming back mid-second round. All of a sudden, he became like a first-round pick. And then in our league, the last one we did, our big money league, he got taken like 6th or 7th overall. Too high. Again, these are rookies. These are rookies. You got to give them.
Fake news.
Yeah, big. Yeah, exactly. All right. Brandon Ayuk. Is it time to hit the panic button on Brandon Ayuk? I think we're all going to agree. No, right? Not time to hit the panic button?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everyone.
I don't know. Again, it's one of those attitude things. He has too much talent, and he has shown way too much talent.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's just being kicked in the ass right now, and he'll come through in a week or two. I do like the fact that, again, we don't really know what's going on there. They started to use like a possible injury, this and that, or lingering injury or whatever for an excuse. But it sounds to me that it's a maturity issue and something comes up. And I like when coaches actually say, hey, no, you're not there. You're not Aaron Rodgers anyway. You haven't paid your dues yet. You had 6 good games. Chill out. I'm in charge, and puts them in their place. So hopefully it won't screw things up too much, which brings me to something real quick. I know I'm really being overzealous here, but Julio Jones. Now I know Royce isn't a major fan, but he is an excellent wide receiver too, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I know he made a mistake. You got to blame that whole damn team. They're responsible for a lot of it. It's not just you calling out Julio Jones like that. Coach Vrabel or whatever was like, saying he did some dumb shit or whatever. I would not be doing that. I'm panicking on that. If I was Julio Jones, maybe he's handling well, but I'd be like laying my head down, like going, you know what? I'll show you who's a dumb shit. I'd be pissed off. So hopefully he'll put it back and catch some balls. But
yeah, he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. You can't treat veterans like that, especially guys that are established.
I agree.
Like Julio. Going back to Ayuk, you people out there that are thinking about, should I drop Ayuk? Don't do it. Keep Ayuk. The baller move is to trade for Ayuk right now because, like you said, once this disciplinary action is over and he starts to be the man again, he's going to go back to the old Ayuk and he's going to have the big game. So just hang tight with Ayuk. Julio Jones, I totally agree with you.
I'm telling you, in a couple of weeks, we're going to find out that Ayuk and that rookie running back, what was his name?
Elijah Mitchell?
No, the one that was also benched.
Trey Sermon.
Trey Sermon. I bet you Trey Sermon and Ayuk were at a strip joint the night before. That's why they got benched.
Dude, you might be right.
Something like that is going to happen, and that's why they both got inactive. I don't see. I think people are jumping on this Elijah Mitchell too early. I think what's his name? Gosh, I can't.
Brandon Ayuk? Sermon, okay.
I think Sermon's going to have value again, and I think everybody's jumping on this Elijah Mitchell way too quick.
I agree. All right, Mike Evans, 3 catches, 24 yards. Every year. Oh, you're panicking. All right.
I'm panicking.
Every year Mike Evans goes through this same thing. I remember about 3 years ago, Mike Evans came out week 1, had 0 catches, 0 points. And I traded for him, and then he went off after that. So
okay,
I'd be careful on that. And we're talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady senses these things. He thinks, Antonio Brown had his big game, right? And Godwin had a big game. And he's looking over at Evans, and Evans has got his head down, and he's going to go to him this week and pepper him. You watch. He's going to get a touchdown or 2 this week. What do you think?
Okay. If Antonio Brown wasn't there, I'd agree with you. Okay, panic again is saying like he's never going to catch another ball, but I think it's going to go to that. He's going to have 4 to 5 big games. That's it. That's how I feel. So is that something to just like ditch him, or do you keep him as a wide receiver 3? And
He's
then
a
maybe-
boomer bust guy. Yeah, he's a boomer bust guy. Like, he
Yeah.
does have 4 or 5 huge games, kind of like Tyler Lockett, a little more consistent than Lockett, but kind of that vibe. So it depends on the league and the format you're in. In a head-to-head, he's not the best, but in a total points league, he comes through for you because he has those huge weeks. So
Right.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that I think I saw a stat on him that he's like the only wide receiver to have double-digit touchdowns in like 4 or 5 years. So he's very touchdown dependent. If he doesn't get that touchdown, you're upset. But a couple weeks he might get 3 touchdowns in one game, and you're like, yeah.
and 200 yards.
Yeah,
He has big games. So, all right, don't panic yet on him though. Last guy, real quick. We touched on Mike Gesicki. 0 catches on 2 targets. I'm not ready to panic yet. I think Keith nailed it. I think Belichick took him out of the game. That happens. Those things happen. Give him another week or 2, and he'll be right back on track. Anybody disagree with that?
No, I think you're right. Young QB too, getting used to him. They'll get him the ball.
Week 2 matchups.
All right, guys, on to week 2. Let's start gearing up for our week 2 prep here. And we're going to start with some matchups that we like and we're interested in. So we're going to start it off. I'll start with the first matchup that I'm most intrigued about this week. And it's the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Chicago Bears. Anyway, I'm interested to see, first of all, are the Bears stupid enough to run out Andy Dalton again and go through this whole scenario where he sucks and they get way behind yet again? Or are they going to be smart and break out Justin Fields and let him just roll? And then if it's Justin Fields, now I'm interested to see, is Darnell Mooney become a thing? Because I think he's a very talented wide receiver, and I'd like to see what he can do with Justin Fields. And the second thing I want to see are the Bengals for real. Because Burrow was super impressive to me in the first game, the way he came out after that knee injury, first game, and he was just smooth. He didn't throw a lot of passes, but he was super efficient, hit all his receivers. And Keith, I know you were interested to see how Jamar Chase was going to come out this year. What'd you think?
Yeah, where'd that come from? I mean, the guy couldn't catch a single thing in preseason, and the next thing you know, he's catching bombs. I mean, it's just over-the-shoulder bomb, 50 yards, no problem. Looked like he was just a seasoned vet out there just schooling these guys. When he had 5 catches for 100 yards and 20 yards for average, it was crazy. I was shocked. I didn't see that coming, and I can't wait to see more of it. Honestly, I really have high hopes for Cincinnati this year.
Yeah, and Joe Mixon, Bro Mixon was awesome. I mean, that's the Bro Mixon that we're talking about. Like, he is a first-round pick if he plays like that. Problem is, like most Bengals, like most bungholes, they don't put together back-to-back good games. So I'm very interested to see if these guys can do it, especially Bro Mixon. What do you think, Tony? Can they do it?
Yeah, I kind of think it comes down to the defense. I mean, if they stay hyped up like they were, excited, and they play fairly well, I think the offense is going to come through. I mean, it kind of seems like Burrow didn't have the best training camp either. So it kind of looks like those two guys may do better under pressure. When those lights come on, man, they seem – I don't know. He seems good to go. You see a young guy like that, and he had just a horrible injury, and he was that calm out there. It looks pretty good to me.
It makes me think of that movie Wedding Crashers. You sandbagging son of a bitch.
Yeah,
like, these two guys had the worst preseason. And they were tricking us all, and then they come out and like gangbusters week 1. Like, it's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know what matchup Royce is interested in.
Well, this is purely because I have 19 players going on in this game. That's the only reason why. And it's Thursday night. I like Thursday night. It's the only game. It's Giants and Washington. I want to see how Washington's going to roll without Fitzpatrick. I have McLaren. I have Gibson. I have Thomas. I have Washington D. And then the other side, I have Shepard, who I'll talk about later. So it's just purely for my own excitable pleasure. Pretty much half my game, half my teams are in this one game. So that's really
That's what it's all about, baby. Fantasy football. That's right. We want to see how your team does.
Absolutely. Looking forward to Thursday for sure.
Yeah. You looking forward to Thursday, Tony?
Nope.
How about you, Keith?
No. I don't think I have a single guy going on Thursday night.
Nice.
In any of my 9 leagues, actually.
Surprising.
All right, so let's move on to the next matchup. Tony, what matchup are you most interested in?
This was kind of a weird game, but I'm kind of looking forward to Saints at the Panthers. Just because there's still, I wouldn't really say there's questions, but I still want to see how this is going to turn out. We know what, probably is going to happen with McCaffrey. But I'm still watching both quarterbacks. I was impressed with Carolina, their offense. I want to see who's going to get that ball over there. Is it still going to be, a DJ Moore kind of thing, Robbie Anderson, whatever? So I'm more interested on what's going to happen. And also Juwan, and that tight end, dude, is he going to keep getting the ball? I should have listened to Johnny, man, because I got him on the bench in one league, but I did not pick him up in all my leagues. And so I'm stoked to see what happens with those guys.
I want to see more Tony Jones.
The Yahoo?
What's that?
Yahoo Fantasy Football? Does anybody here play the Yahoo Fantasy Football? Because I guess that that tight end was wide receiver eligible as well.
Yep.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Why would you play him at wide receiver though? That would be a disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you had,
like a flex or something.
Another tight end, maybe. Yeah, if you had somebody else.
Yeah, if you have another like number one tight end and throw him in like a flex, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I guess in certain scenarios, yeah. I like to see more of Tony Jones Jr. He looked really good as the backup to Kamara, and bring that on. I want to see more of that, even though I have 0 shares of the guy. He's fun to watch.
Three leagues.
I have him. I won it.
Good. That's good. Good pickup. All right, Keith, I want to know your favorite matchup of the week.
Wow, I was going to say Minnesota and Arizona just because I think they're the highest scoring total this week at 54. So any game that I think could be a shootout, I'm always interested in. I really liked what Kyler Murray did last week, and I know Chuck didn't like him at all, but I was glad to see him really go off.
Not true, brother.
And maybe it was Johnny. Maybe it was Johnny Ballgame.
I love Kyler Murray.
So it was Johnny Ballgame who was really down on Kyler. But now knowing that you made a trade and got rid of this guy, I'm really looking forward to Green Bay on Monday night now. I'm so stoked about that game. I don't care what the odds are. I'm putting money on Aaron Rodgers just to go off.
He's gonna go off. It's the Lions. I'm not. It's the long run. I'm not trying to. 1 week ain't gonna. I'm not gonna sweat that. All right. I got the better quarterback, baby. Josh Allen. Stop busting my balls, Keith.
As a Tampa Bay fan, I really want to see how many touchdowns Tom Brady's going to throw against Atlanta. I think he might break a record. I don't know what the record is, but I think it could be broken. Is it 7?
The record is held by about 5 different quarterbacks, and it's 7. And the reason why I know this is because I drafted Peyton Manning number 1 overall about 7 or 8 years ago, and he had 7 touchdowns against the Ravens on opening night. Remember that, Tony?
Oh my God! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
The All Poop Team.
All right. Now we're moving on to a new fun segment. We're going to give this a shot. So in DFS, you like to put together teams that score you a lot of points. You like big names. You like to put McCaffrey in your lineup. But what we're going to do here is create a lineup called the All Poop Team. And these are the guys that are going to come up small. These are big name players that are not going to perform well in week 2. So we've got this list going. There's a quarterback, 3 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end that we're going to put on this list. All right? Okay, so first guy on the poop list. Actually, we're going to start with Tony, who's got a quarterback for us. Who's on your All Poop Team at quarterback?
Well, a lot of these guys after last night were talking about, oh man, He's a badass quarterback. He's going to have a great year, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going with Mr. Carr, the Raider. He ain't doing crap. Wait, one more time. Do that one more time. Mr. Carr. Okay, that's better. So, yeah, he ain't doing nothing. Come on. In Pittsburgh, right? Come on.
400 yards against the Ravens. It ain't happening against
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Doing that again. It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen all
choice.
season. That is the worst 400-yard game I've ever seen in my life. And you know what? He locked onto his tight end Waller the entire game, and he still missed him wide open down the field twice. That would have been long touchdowns. He just completely didn't see him. He's blind. The guy, I can't believe he's an NFL quarterback, and he threw 400 yards last night. What the hell is going on?
Well, the other two big throws that he had, one to Braylon Edwards and another one to Zay Jones. The Zay Jones one, he just threw up.
Off his back foot.
Off his back foot.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, so we got the quarterback out of the way. Let's move to Royce. First running back on your all-poop team. Who you got?
Mike Davis for your Atlanta Falcons. Yeah.
Juicy. Woo.
God.
Why? Tell me why. Why is Mike Davis?
Not just him. Obviously, Atlanta was terrible. Everyone was terrible. They go up against Keith's Buccaneers next week, and they only allowed 47 combined yards to Zeke and Pollard. So Davis probably drafted as your RB2. I'm sure a lot of teams have him. Yeah, don't
poop list.
Poop.
Yeah, it's gonna be stinky.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Don't play him.
All right, we got another running back from Keith. Who you got on your all poop list?
Man, I'm selecting the number one waiver pickup this week, Elijah Mitchell.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that, like I said earlier, I think Sermon is going to come back. I think it's going to be a 50-50 shot this week, and you're going to see Sermon's going to produce well enough to take that job back. I think it was just a night at the strip club that the coach found out about, and that's what I'm saying.
Nice. I like that one. So Elijah Mitchell guys are going to be fighting over the waiver wire. They're going to be spending all their fab budget on this guy, and it's going to be for naught. And it's going to be this week where he struggles. I kind of agree with that. I like that one. All right. Now I have another running back, and we talked about him earlier. I'm really sorry about this, Tony, but I got to do it. Joe Mixon.
Oh,
Come on.
Now,
Fart boy, why?
Bro Mixon doesn't do 2 games in a row. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up small. I don't even care about the matchup, although it is a good matchup for the Bears. The Bears defense is going to rebound this week. They're pissed off. They're going to destroy Joe Mixon. He's going to find it very hard to get yards. So he's definitely my guy on the all poop list for this week. Anybody disagree with that?
I can see that. I think he's going to get about 75 yards. I don't think he's going to completely poop fail.
Is he going to catch a bunch of balls, though? Because if he doesn't catch some passes, he's going to come up small.
I think you're right. It's not going to do a lot.
All right, Tony, we're going back to you, and we're going to start with our wide receivers. Who is the first wide receiver on your poop list?
We're going to go back to that 49er thing. I think Debo is sorry, not going to do much at all. He's not going to. Well, 189 or whatever he got is incredible. So I don't expect him to even reach 100 yards. They're going to spread it around a little bit, and people are going to be looking at him. That defense is going to be double teaming him. Debo is going to fail. Sorry, Chuck. So I got you back, I guess.
I'm totally in agreement with you. I mean, what Debo did was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. I told you I'm not going back to that well. So I totally agree with you on this one. He's definitely on the poop list, no doubt. All right, let's move it to Royce. Who you got? Another wide receiver?
I do. This guy's been on the poop list. I don't think anybody's drafted him. That's probably why he's been on the poop list. He had an okay game last week, but anyway, Devontae Parker for I don't know if you guys remember him on the Dolphins. Will Fuller's coming back. Don't play him. It's Waddle's team. Yeah.
Waddle's team?
It's Waddle's team. I'm calling it right now. It's Waddle's team. Parker, you can see you got Fuller coming back. Gesicki's going to bounce back, guys. He's just lost in the mix. Gaskin too. So
Sorry to hear that.
Last year or 2 years ago, he was incredible. I actually helped me win a championship. I remember I picked him up late, but sorry, buddy.
Hey, that's why we're here, bro. We gotta take down those big names and tell you when they're gonna be shit, right?
Exactly.
All right.
I guess so.
And Keith's about to do that, and this one is big. Go ahead, Keith. Who's on your all poop team at wide receiver?
Hey, it's go big or go home, right? So I just think that Arizona's defense is really good, and so I'm going to say Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
I think, yeah.
Double.
Adam Thielen proved that he's the go-to guy for touchdowns yet again. Jefferson relies on those big plays. You got Budda Baker back there in Arizona, and that's just not going to happen. I think Arizona's defense is really underrated, and I think they show Minnesota that Jefferson just ain't going to be good enough.
Wow, that's ballsy. Ballsy. Man. Justin Jefferson.
I don't think he's too far off, though.
I don't either. He justified it very well. I think he's right on the money.
Yeah. Arizona defense, no joke. I think they're legit, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so what's left but the tight end? And this one's big too and ballsy. Darren Waller.
Wow.
Look,
Waller.
Darren Waller's not going to get shut out or anything crazy like that. But guess who he's going up against this week? The Pittsburgh Steelers, the best defense in football. They're going to take him, at least make it difficult for him, and Carr's going to have to lock onto another receiver because Waller's not going to be open like he was last night. It's just not going to happen. So I think Darren Waller's probably going to still catch 4 or 5 balls, but it'll be for maybe 50 yards. And he's going to come up a little small for you DFS folks. Stay away from Darren Waller. What do you think?
He won't have 19 targets?
19 freaking targets.
And only catch
That's
10
crazy.
of the 19?
Yeah. Instead of 11.
That's a quarterback issue.
All right, so to recap, our quarterback from Tony was David Carr. Our running back from Royce was Mike Davis. Keith at running back took Elijah Mitchell. I took Joe Mixon.
Oh,
Tony took Debo Samuel. At wide receiver, Royce took Devontae Parker. Keith took Justin Jefferson. And last but not least, Darren Waller at tight end.
kind of made me happy.
Squeaky and silent. I like that one.
Glad we're adults here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's for the kids. It's for the kids.
Yeah. Poop, it's funny when you're 5. It's funny when you're 50, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You guys are calling me poop.
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm all in.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. And we got waiver wire gems. We're each going to give you our favorite waiver wire pickup. And these aren't going to be sexy names, but they're going to be the guys that we think give you the most value. And so we're going to start with you, Tony. I want to hear who is your favorite waiver wire pickup this week.
I'm going back to New Orleans. I've been on that train all night tonight. Back to Juwan. He is badass, dude. He's not even a huge tight end. He's like 6'3" or 6'4". He's not like 6'8" or 6'9" that Adam. Anytime Adam Lawson picks up a tight end, he's like, they're 6'8", they're 6'9". No, this guy's 4.
It's so
a lot
true.
of size for a tight end. And he's still, man, he's a scoop. That guy is tough. And I think they realize that he stepped up, man. This young kid in there, catching him in the end zone like that, he's going to get more balls. and I hopefully get his balls at some point too. But he's gonna have a great year, man. Pick him up.
All right. Keith, I want to hear who's your waiver wire gem this week.
Man, it was tough. I really liked what Latavius Murray did on Monday, coming in on short notice, making some plays. And if you saw the running back from Baltimore, I can't remember his name.
Tyson Williams?
The guy that stepped in. Tyson Williams. That dude cannot pass block whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It was Tyson Williams in that game when Lamar Jackson fumbled at that end of the game.
Yeah, you're right.
And he just barely touches the guy. And there's a reason why Latavius Murray was in the game 90% of the time toward the end of that game. It was because he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's going to protect that quarterback. And I think he's the pickup. I think he's going to be running that show soon.
Man, I noticed the same thing as you, Keith. It spooked me when I saw that Murray got all the carries late in the game there. I was like, oh boy, Tyson Williams disappointed. He had that one breakaway 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But other than that, he looked a little indecisive to me, and he definitely did not pass block. So good call there. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, waiver wire gem number 3 is from Royce. What you got?
Sterling Sharp. Or Sterling Sharp.
I wish.
Yeah, bring him back. He's only 50. Bring him back.
Oh, shit. No more coffee. Sterling Shepard of your New York Giants. Had a good game last week. He's available in a ton of leagues. I got him super late. I didn't play him. I might play him this week. Had seven catches for 113 yards and a touchdown against Denver defense. Again, I like teams that have to throw the ball. They're going to be behind, and that's what Giants are going to do. They're playing Washington this week, another good defense, but so is Denver. Get him out there. He's Jones' number one guy. I like him a lot. Someone's got to catch the ball.
Yep.
So
you know what?
pick him up. He's available.
Until Saquon gets unleashed and until Evan Ingram comes back, I'm on the Sterling Shepard train, man. I mean, they're going to pepper him with targets. But once Saquon is fully integrated in the offense, a lot of those targets are going to go to his way instead. But for now, I like that pickup. That's really good. I'm with you. Anyone else?
Pick him up.
Everyone agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And our last waiver wire gem will come from me. I noticed something in the Chargers game. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Austin Eckler, although he did get the goal line catches, he caught 0 balls, and he was in a timeshare. And when you think timeshare in San Diego, you think the backup and the handcuff is Justin Jackson. That wasn't the case. It was Larry Roundtree. He quietly was getting a bunch of carries. He had 8 carries. I think he had something like 27 yards. It wasn't anything super sexy, but it just got me thinking when, and I say when, not if, when Austin Eckler gets hurt, Larry Roundtree's going to be the guy there. And I think he's a sneaky good pickup. You can get him, and he's definitely off most people's radar. So I think Larry Roundtree's a very sneaky pickup. What do you guys think?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
We saw him in the preseason, loved him. He's definitely going to be somebody to keep on your roster for sure.
And
I think
Eckler's
everybody thought it was
hurt.
Justin Jackson, but obviously it wasn't Justin Jackson, huh?
No, Justin Jackson got 1 carry.
Yeah, and where's Kelly at? Kelly's not.
Kelly was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, so
Non-existent.
pick him up. Eckler's going down. Not this week, next week. It's gonna happen. So
It's going to
pick him
happen.
up.
Guy-
It is.
That guy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he just injured his quad. I don't know, just walking. I mean, the guy is a walking
getting out of
injury.
bed.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Roll with Royce, the degenerate gambler.
All right, and we have one more segment, and it's a new one. Roll with Royce. Royce he is the degenerate gambler of the 4 of us. Actually, if you count Johnny Ballgame, he's the degenerate gambler of the 5 of us. And he's going to give you a few Vegas picks, what side of the bet he's going to be on, and you got to roll with Royce. Royce, what were you, 4 out of 5 last week?
I was 4-1-1.
4-1-1.
Real quick again, first weekend, love the underdogs. The underdogs were 12-4 last week. Just a heads up, first week of NFL, take the underdogs, guys. Take them.
All right, so tell me, who are your – we're going to get 2 picks from you this week for the degenerate gamblers out there. What do you got? Roll with Royce. Here we go.
Love Denver -6 against the Jags. Denver had 420 total yards against the Giants, which was not a horrible defense. The Giants are way better than the Jags. Their defense is top 10. The Jags gave up 37 points to the Texans. Take Denver -6. It started at 2.5. By the time Saturday, this could be at 10. Get them at -6. 34-16 is my final score.
All right.
And this one's for Poop. Love my Bengals +2.5 at the Bears. Looking at this game, a lot of matchups are similar. Mixon, Montgomery. I like the wide receivers a little better for the Bengals. Chicago defense is not terrible. They actually stayed in the game with the Rams. They were only down by 7 in the fourth quarter. But you know what I look at? It comes down to quarterback. And I'm a Burrow fan. Even if they bring Fields in, we don't know what he's going to do. And Burrow I think he's way better than Dalton. In this game, you play the quarterback. 27-23, Poop, your Bengals over the Bears.
Sounds
good.
Revenge game.
Exactly. And first time, Poop, since 1929, the Bengals will be 2-0 to open the season. So.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. That sounded good, though, right?
I'm like, damn, that's an interesting stat.
You guys bought it, though, right? Oh, really?
I think it's since late. I think like the middle of 90s.
Yeah, but at least, right?
Well, you know, I agree with you as long as Justin Fields doesn't play.
Even if he does play, Chuck, I still take the Bengals. I do. It's his first. I mean, we haven't seen him. He hasn't done anything yet. We don't know. I mean, he could, but I got to go with the better quarterback. And I think he's better than Fields right now. We don't know. He's definitely better than Dalton. I got to take the better quarterback every time.
I hear you. So those are your 2 degenerate picks.
I'm getting 2.5. So,
Royce,
awesome.
Tell us one more time who you like. Give us the 2 games.
Denver -6 against the Jags, and Bengals +2.5 over ball games Bears.
There you go, fellas. Go to Vegas, bet the mortgage, bet the house. Go buy yourself a boat. Go buy yourself a jet airplane because you're going to win these bets, right, Bryce? It's right. A guaranteed lock. Just kidding, guys. This is not financial advice. But we're going to see how Royce does.
Entertainment purposes only.
There you go.
All right. I want to thank Keith, the fantasy antagonist, for coming on tonight and filling in for Johnny Ballgame. Appreciate you coming on, brother. Good job. I want to thank Sir Poops a lot. Tony, appreciate you again. And I want to thank the Fantasy Rolls Royce for doing a great job again. Appreciate you guys. Once again, if you enjoyed the content, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell because we do this every week and we're coming back next week with more and we'll be doing our week 3 show next week. So make sure you check in. Thank you again from the Fantasy Sports Island. Aloha.
Thanks, everybody.
Keep pooping, right, Tony?
Keep pooping. Close. Makes me feel better. I feel better now.
Thanks for watching, bitches. Tune in next week for another episode of Fantasy Sports Island, or I will kill you.